Hey, welcome back to Todd and Tony, and this week we're here with Dennis at Nomad Tactical, and we'll be talking gun safety and all things around guns. So, let's get started. Hey, Dennis, thank you for coming on to the show with us here. Couple questions, if you don't mind. First off, tell us a little bit about Nomad Tactical, whatever you want us to know.
Who are you?
Here. Yeah. Who is Dennis, and what is Nomad Tactical?
We moved to Texas in 2015, and my wife and I, one of the first things we did when we got here was got our license to carry. And in that class, I realized there were a lot of students that weren't shooting very well. Wife and I pretty much dominated the class. Thought, I like shooting, maybe I'll start teaching people how to shoot and become a license carry instructor as a hobby. And it was really meant as a hobby. And of our about 50 acres, my wife granted me about 1,400 square foot area that I could use for my hobby thing I was going to do.
Sounds right.
Teach students. And she says, you can have this little spot up here.
Sure.
And so I became an LTC instructor. And my anticipation was a couple $100s a month, beer money. And started teaching people how to shoot. And I thought, I need a little bit more room. So I conjured a little bit more space. I got a little bit more space, and I was never the type to build it and hope they will come. It's when I got a sustained bottleneck, I'll make it a little bigger. Right. And one thing led to another, and the range started growing. And in our first 4 years, we went from 1,400 square foot to 440,000 square foot. And so now I'm not allowed to expand past the creek, but the range has grown out of abundance of need, people wanting to come and shoot, because we're one of the very few public shooting ranges around. So the range kept growing and growing and growing. And in the last 6 years, I've taught more than 2,500 students.
Wow.
And taken classes to have credentials. You can't just say, well, I know guns, so I want to shoot. People want to know what's your credentials, what's your pedigree, So I've worked on that over the past several years, and the range has just grown exponentially. God's been good to us.
Good.
That's amazing. What does it take to become you have to be a certified instructor to be able to give those credentials, right?
Yeah, the easiest one to get is an NRA handgun instructor, and then I've taken a lot of classes through Texas DPS to be a school safety officer instructor, a first responder instructor, private security bureau firearms instructor, just several things along the way that helps. I started out teaching church security, and that opened up a lot of doors. And Texas recognizes that. And then I started taking classes for school security. I can license a teacher to carry in the classroom. And then teaching first responders, because Texas is very gun friendly. And so the administration has put things out there for instructors to do to help teach people. So just jump on that bandwagon and take every class I possibly can, and just learning from so many different people helps build or broaden my horizon of what I can teach. Law enforcement and military have a path that they teach, whereas civilian is a different mindset. The laws are different. Police have the backing of the police department, the city, the state, the feds. Civilian, you got the backing of how good's your attorney. So the mindset is different. Mm-hmm. And so I try to teach from the civilian mindset, which sets me apart.
Okay.
The name Nomad Tactical. Now, I'll be honest. Todd and I, we've been part of the RV lifestyle for a very long time. And when we first moved here, my wife and I, we were living full time in RV, and we all called ourselves nomads.
Right.
So where did that name come from? Because I was driving by, Nomad Tactical. That must be RV Tactical.
But you can never get in because it's always moving.
Yeah.
It actually came from my uncle. My uncle had a Kawasaki Vulcan Nomad motorcycle. And he was dying of brain cancer and was going to sell his motorcycle and asked me if I'd be interested in it. And I'm like, well, I'm going to check with the boss and see if I'm allowed to be interested in it. And she allowed it, and I got it. So my license plate was Nomad because it was a Vulcan Nomad.
Gotcha.
And I had that when we moved down here. And in talking to friends when we were building the range, you're trying to come up with names, spitballing comes up with. And one of my buddies who lives in Dallas, he goes, he's how about Nomads? He says, I'm going out hang out the day at Nomads. I'm like, well, that sounds kind of cool. And then everything is tactical, so you have to add tactical onto it.
Well played.
So Nomad's Tactical.
Gotcha.
Came from my uncle.
So what are you allowed to do at Nomad Tactical? Like if I was just walking off the street and You know, I brought a 50 BMG, and
you can do anything out there. You can shoot a tank if you want. You shoot for free if you have a tank, as long as I get a shot and the wife gets a shot. But you can do anything, and that's where we focus differently. Since we focus on defensive training, you can work on drawing your gun, work on anything you want, as long as you're doing it in a safe manner. And we're going to watch and make sure you're doing it correctly. But you can do that kind of fun stuff, as we call it, out there at the range. Shooter ready?
Yep.
Jeez.
1.55 seconds.
Yeah, we worked out my new Rete shotgun, so we actually shot it for the first time out there. It was nice. The gun and the range.
When we took our family out there, and you did some training with us. So let's talk a little bit about that. What kind of training is that? And let's just say, you know, because most people, when they go to the gun range, is like, okay, we're going to get up there and we're going to shoot. But if they go through some training with you, what does that entail?
Well, owning a gun and using a gun are two totally different things.
I've heard that.
And people get a gun and think, well, I'm prepared. I got a gun. I can protect the family. But there's a lot to using a gun, and you're not born with the knowledge to use a gun. Everybody has to start from zero. If you've got parents that are involved in guns and like guns, you know, Dad probably taught you how to shoot, or you went on hunting. But hunting with a rifle and a pistol are totally different. So pistol being a different animal, you need to practice with it, and it's best to find somebody that can teach you how to do it. If Dad didn't do it, somebody that can teach you, and that's where I wanted to get the credentials so people would trust me. I have customers come out and they say, well, I trust you. I'm like, how do you trust me? You just met me 5 minutes ago. How do you trust me? But they've looked online and they see all of our reviews and they see all my credentials up on the wall, and makes them want to trust me. And then teaching them, I mainly do one-on-one classes, private classes. If I'm teaching in a group, if it's a group like a church group or something like that, then you have to train as a group. But in a group setting, I'm teaching to the least experienced person. So if you are that person, you're loving class. But if you're more advanced, you're hating class. So I try to focus on one-on-one. That way we can move forward with you and get you up to where you need to be. So I work with people, you know, what do you want to do? Just learn how to use the gun to come to the range and shoot? Or do you want to be able to carry this, draw your gun to be able to protect yourself and your family? So hour at a time, get to whatever level you want. You want more training, come back for another hour, and we'll work on next steps and get you further and further up the ladder.
I can see a lot of our viewers live in RVs and they're going to be traveling around, and hopefully they'll be able to stop by and see you, but worst case they can go somewhere else, get some training. But as a gun, like a first-time going over, like you said, if you haven't been taught, you start at zero. But a lot of people, when they buy their guns, all of us, Rambo, man, right away. I'm getting the laser, I'm getting the red dot. What are the most common mistakes you see new gun owners when they come to see you? They just got their gun, they're looking for training. What are the most common mistakes you see them do?
Getting a gun that's not right for them. A gun that doesn't fit their hand, a gun that's too small.
I'm sure you have that problem quite a bit.
The husband will get a gun first, and he's got a big gun, big 45, and the wife shoots it. She's like, "Oh, that kicks too much. I don't want that. I want these little pink or purple guns. I want something little fit in my purse."
Well, 380 that hurts you.
Right. Well, and the weight of the gun helps absorb the recoil. So the smaller the gun, the more you have to absorb the recoil. It's simple physics. And so ladies get these little tiny guns and they shoot it and they're like, "Oh, I hate this gun." So I try to help people fit a gun to their hand or to their situation. It could be for your purse or it could be beside the bed. Those are two totally different guns. So let's talk about what you want to do with it, and then I'll help you find a gun for your situation.
What do you have in your purse? I beat you to it. We both right there in our heads.
Let him finish this topic, and then we're going to get into this.
Yeah. Well, my personal carry is Hellcat, and I find that it's nice and compact. But man, that thing is loud. Like, it is a loud 9mm, surprisingly. My wife ended up, after multiple guns, ended up with the Easy. Was it Smith & Wesson? Easy 9mm. We had the 380 and then found out it's really hard to find 380.
It's expensive.
Yeah, and So we ended up getting her the 9mm, and that actually ended up being a really nice gun for her, and it's a little larger than what you would expect. So I can see that being a thing, because at first we wanted the small one, because you think small gun, small action.
Well, and then you get the little tiny ones. You can't get your hands on it. They're just so tiny. You got a finger hanging off, and you shoot them, and it's just uncomfortable. Or the ladies want to cross their thumbs, and they get bit because it's just such a small gun.
Now, okay, so if we're using it for self-defense, what's your caliber of choice?
Minimum 9mm for personal protection. 380 is just not enough.
So a 22 is not even in the conversation.
Ronald Reagan was shot with a 22 and didn't know for 30 minutes. And it didn't break the rib cage. It was stuck in a rib.
Wow. Because I'll tell you, that SR-22 shoots really nice. It's very comfortable in the hand.
Well, and they're fun to play with. 22s are cheap. You can't do all the malfunctions with them when you're practicing, but you need to learn to manage your recoil. And that's the thing. So the 22 is fun and cheap. Your 9mm kicks a lot more, but you have to learn to manage that recoil in a shooting situation. So you got to practice with your carry gun.
Yeah. So what are some of the classes, and I guess we're going to also put out some videos of us taking some of these classes. What are some of the classes that you offer, and what are we going to be expected to do? I don't like that look. That was not...
I can tell you some of it. He yells at you. He is so mean.
Is he?
Oh, yeah, when you're shooting.
Got a bullwhip.
At you. Yeah.
Well, my beginners, I start with gun safety, don't point your muzzle at other people. Then trigger control, learning your trigger. Trigger is the most important thing that you can learn. And then going into, if you're going to carry, you have to learn to draw your gun. You're not walking around with your gun out. You got to get it out of a holster. So how to safely and most efficiently get it out of your holster without shooting
your hip. Yeah.
Right. So you practice it 1,000 times with no bullets until you can't get it wrong. And then you introduce bullets and go slow and work your way up. So it's stepping stones. And with a beginner, it depends where they're at. And when they want to get into drawing, which we've got some videos we'll show later, it's somebody who's comfortable with their gun, and I see that they are showing good safety things. They're keeping their finger off the trigger. They're not pointing it at me or anything like that. And then we'll introduce
It's always a
drawing.
good first step.
Right. Don't shoot me, I won't shoot you. But if they're being safe, then we'll introduce drawing if that's what they want to work on. If they've got a holster we can start with. You don't start with inside the waistband. Start with it on the hip where it's a little safer getting it out. Pointed at your crotch is not a good place to practice with a live gun until you got it down pat,
Now in Texas, you can carry, well, as long as it's, not like a school, hospital, posted areas where it clearly says you can't have a firearm, but you can carry anywhere else.
Texas constitutional carry says if you are legally able to purchase a gun, that you can carry a gun open or concealed. But constitutional carry, when that was passed, was about restoring our Second Amendment right and giving the finger to the administration. That's all it was. It doesn't give you any protection. It doesn't give you reciprocity anywhere. It doesn't protect you in a lot of places. Your license to carry really protects you legally if you had to use the gun.
Yeah, I heard of some stories where somebody, was trying to help, rushed into a gas station and ended up shooting somebody, and the person holding the gun already killed the bad guy. And then the guy with the concealed carry shot the store owner.
Yeah, there's a couple bad stories like that I tell in my license to carry classes that, you got to know the law. And this is Texas gun law. There's quite a bit to it.
It's about 3 hours for my wife.
And that's why taking a license to carry class is important, to learn what the laws are, learn what your rights and responsibilities are. You got to know your rights. As they say, knowledge is power. You have to know what you can and can't do. Where can you legally use your gun? What are your rights in your home? There's so many things to take into consideration as a civilian having a gun.
What are some key safety measures that every gun owner, and family should take in order to, be safe?
I'm a proponent of teaching everybody in the house that has access to the gun know how to use the gun. Mm-hmm. Properly trained kids don't have accidents. Kids are curious critters. They want to learn. Doesn't matter how much mom and dad say, don't touch this. Kids are curious. They want to check it out. So you got to teach them. Mm-hmm. And If the husband is gone all the time and the wife's home, the wife has access to the gun, needs to use it, she needs to practice with it. So everybody that has access to the gun practices with all the guns in the house.
All right, so debate. Store it with bullets in or no?
That's situational dependent, depending on your situation and your kids and the training level of your household.
Okay.
I agree with all that. In my house, I have one gun, and you may not like this, but I have a 22 with hollow points in my side dresser drawer, or what do you call it? No, a nightstand. Whatever is next to my bed.
It's a nightstand.
Because my thought is if anything happens, I wake up drowsy. If somebody's breaking in, I can unload as many as I can, but that's going to have a harder chance going through, walls and messing up the kids if I accidentally spray the house in my zombie state, versus my 9mm. But my 9mm, everything stays loaded. But my kids have also shot that gun multiple times, and so I think that does kind of cure the curiosity when they've shot it multiple times. They have their own rifles. They're cute. One's pink and.
Well, and one of the pictures that we show is that I brought over tonight is of a kid shooting a watermelon. Because shooting a gun.
Is that a kid shooting that?
Yeah, shooting a gun for a kid, they feel the recoil, it's loud, it's noisy, it's kind of scary, but you're poking a hole in a piece of paper. That doesn't show that a gun destroys what it hits. I can poke a hole in a piece of paper with my finger or with a pencil. But once you get the kid lined up on the target where they're going to hit, then let them shoot a watermelon with a hollow point 9mm, and it totally explodes. And the kids go, I get it. It destroys whatever it hits. So you got to teach them the destruction of the gun. That's what scares them to where they won't touch it.
I'd rather do a broccoli bushel or maybe.
It won't blow up. It needs to have water. Got to have watermelon. Pumpkins don't blow up.
I know, but watermelon's something you eat. Broccoli is something you shoot.
We need to get some watermelon.
Tannerite on broccoli.
There we go.
Well, that would wake them up.
Yeah.
Do you do that over at Nomad?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a place for parents to bring their kids out and shoot watermelons, yeah.
All right, watch this clip where we set off some tannerite. Just foreshadowing.
So for home protection, it really depends on if you live in the city or if you live in the country. An AR-15 is not good for home defense because the bullet's going to travel so far. It's going to leave your house and go through the next neighbor's house or two. Your 9mm is going to leave your house. It's probably going to the neighbor's house. Your 22 is not. It's probably going to stay in your bedroom. Shotguns are really the best for home defense because it's not going to leave your house. Now, we'll go through a wall, but the BBs lose energy so fast that a shotgun is really good for home defense. It's not going to leave. You don't have to worry about shooting your neighbor. And also that is
the one who's.
Unless it's your neighbors coming in. Right? And that would be also good in an RV. Your RV is the walls are not real thick, but the shotgun is not going to probably go to the next camper. If you're in a camper.
Right. The BBs would just bounce off.
Right.
But I'll tell you what.
9mm.
Yeah, that'll go right through it.
That's a pure theory. We don't know.
I have a bunch of RV walls.
Shoot them with the 12.
I've got like 5 RV wall samples. We should bring them out.
There we go.
And take different rounds and shoot through them and see how many goes through. Because basically that's a wall. So if you shoot your 9mm at that and it goes through 3 or 4 of them, that's a couple RVs. Yeah,
that could be bad.
Now back to the home defense. I like the idea of the shotgun with some birdshot because it doesn't matter what you're shooting. The sound alone is going to scare the crap out of whoever come in your house versus an SR-22 versus a,
Well, the shotgun, you don't have to be accurate.
You got a problem over there, you just.
Right, you're going to take an arm off or a leg off or something like that. They're probably going to leave when they lose an arm.
Or, crawl out or something, yeah.
Right. And follow the blood trail.
I like that. Yeah, get him again.
If you got them in the leg, they're going to walk in circles. They'll be back.
It's really weird to think about, because that's the excuse we use to buy new guns, home defense. We need new guns, it's like guitar players though. They only need one. It gets the job done.
You only play one at a time.
But yeah, it's fun getting those guns. I love
you have range guns
collecting them.
and
Sure.
What if zombies? Then you need an AR-15.
My wife's here, so let's just keep talking about that. How many different types of guns should you own?
You should own one of each. You need to have
There we go.
your handgun, your AR, and your shotgun, and then you have to have one shotgun for the wife and a rifle for the wife, and a pistol for the wife, and then kids. They got to have all theirs too. So
Right.
the numbers go up fast.
Yeah. Then you have your long range. So, your M300. So that way, if they're deciding to come in from, say, Louisiana, go ahead and take them out. And if you miss, then the AR.
Right.
If you miss,
Right.
then the 45. And then if you miss, then the 12 gauge.
Yeah, you pull out the Barrett. I swear it was here. All there was parts.
So you said that everyone needs to be trained within the house. But how often do they need to train, and do they need to retrain, right? In other words, someone says, hey, look, I've trained the kids, or we've trained, and we're good. Right? Now we're
It is a perishable skill. It is a perishable skill. You have to familiarize yourself with the gun enough. It's not just go out one time. It's take some classes, learn, and then practice in the beginning till you get it down pat. But it's not like riding a bike.
Yeah.
You're going to forget things, and under stress, you will forget a lot of what you know under stress. So somebody's breaking your house, you're gonna forget, and it's probably gonna be dark. So you've got to be able to operate this firearm with your eyes closed, basically. Mm-hmm. And that only comes from repetition, doing it over and over and over.
Do you recommend that, shooting firearms with your eyes closed?
I teach that in my night classes, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That was a joke. I didn't realize.
No.
All right. Check this clip out. No.
You're just going to see as a muzzle flash.
Yeah, I teach that with handguns, yeah. When we do a night shoot, I teach people to shoot with their eyes closed.
So you do, wow.
You do
All right. Tell me about this night shooting. What is it? What?
We have a live fire shoot house, which has got just visual barriers, and you're shooting at steel plate targets. So when you hit it, it makes a loud noise. You know you hit it. But people are like, well, I got a flashlight and I got a handgun. Let's go. Well, think about holding a flashlight in one hand and a gun in one hand. Well, now you get a malfunction. You need to rack your slide. What do you do with the flashlight? Hold your teeth while you.
Yeah.
Now somebody's shooting at you. What do you do?
Throw the flashlight at them.
Right. Well, when you got your flashlight on in a total dark area, you are now the pink elephant floating through the room because you got the flashlight on. So the bad guy's going to see you come and shoot the flashlight.
Should have thermal imaging.
There it is.
Thermals is most best, but that's kind of out of most people's price range. So
this is
it's practicing with the flashlight and realize you need to turn it on and back off. You turn it on to glean as much as you can from the picture and turn it off. You may have to shoot with your light off. And if you don't have glow-in-the-dark sights on your gun, you're going to have to bring the flashlight back to illuminate the sights on your gun so you can see what the heck you're aiming at. Or shoot literally with your eyes closed in the dark.
Wow. I can't wait to do that.
It's fun.
That's going to be cool. Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that. Well, it's kind of hard to film that, but...
Well, I think
we could just claim.
It'll be the part where you use your imagination.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pew pew.
But I mean, would you take the flashlight out here?
Well,
try to trick them.
Well, see, that's the thing. The FBI style is holding the flashlight up to the side, knowing that the bad guy's going to shoot at the flashlight. Okay. Well, we can agree that most people are right-handed, right? Most people in the U.S. are right-handed. Well, when a right-handed person jerks the trigger, they shoot low left. So if I'm holding this flashlight up here, you aim at the light, and you jerk and shoot low left, that's right at me. So that's not probably a good idea. And if you need to illuminate the sights on your gun, you have to hold the flashlight back so that you can see. If you have illuminated sights, then you can hold your flashlight under your hand, which helps you support the gun, because most people have a hard time shooting with one hand. You need a little bit more support. So it changes for your situation.
Down here.
I'd be like, Todd, grab the flashlight. That's crazy. All right, what other training things do you have?
He definitely teaches how to fix malfunctions.
Working on malfunctions. A malfunction, like I said, under stress, you'll revert back to about 50% of your best day on the range. That was a good malfunction. Yeah.
You should have thrown it.
That's when you start throwing the gun.
Yeah.
If you have a malfunction, which happens, there's three main malfunctions, and if it happens and you're under stress, you're just you're not going to know what the heck to do. And then some situational shooting up close. Most gunfights start and end in 3.5 seconds at this distance, at 3 yards. So I teach up close shooting. Think of standing at the gas pump and somebody comes up and you got your kids in the car's running, and you're at the gas pump and you've got you're pumping and you're standing there and the hose is behind you, so you can't quickly step back because you'll trip over the hose. And somebody comes up and says, at knife point or gun point, I'm picking your car with whoever's in it. How quick can you get your gun out? Think it's situational awareness.
They're getting hosed.
If you can get it out in time,
That's effective.
Oh, you see people do it, yeah.
Oh, man. They don't dare shoot the gun at that point either. They're like, oh, wait a minute, I just got gas all over me.
Well, hopefully they think that.
Yeah.
But with the price of gas, I don't know. I might not do
your pump's
that.
got enough pressure to squirt across the car, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy to
Up
think
close
about.
and personal shooting. You're shooting
Okay.
from zero distance, basically. And then you got to move.
Yes, the movement.
I see people come out the range and shoot, and they're drawing their gun, they're shooting, and they're walking towards the targets as they're shooting. And so I go out and correct them. I'm like, remember, somebody's recording. Somebody's got their phone out recording what's going on. If you're going towards the guy you're shooting, you are now the aggressor. You're going to jail. The stand your ground law in Texas says if you have the legal right to be where you are, you can stand your ground. You can stand there and protect yourself if somebody's going to try to hurt you or you assume somebody's going to hurt you. Or you can back up. I recommend backing up as fast as you can. Most bad guys don't practice, so when they mash the trigger, they shoot low. The shot goes low, okay? The further back you can get from the bad guy, odds are he's going to hit you in the ankle rather than the chest. So you want to get the heck away from the bad guy. So it's draw your gun and move him backwards as you're shooting. But you got to get the drawing down first before you
shoot
walk and
yourself
chew
in the
gum and all that stuff at the same
or
time.
you should get shot in the chest and then shoot yourself in the hip on the way out.
Right. So, and that's where I start with a beginner and just work their way up as they progress and I see they're doing well and they want to continue on. Then okay, well let's start walking backwards and shooting. And they're like, oh, okay, or shooting with one hand. They're like, one hand. I'm like, sure, put your left hand in your pocket.
That's exciting.
His brain flowing.
I love shooting. Yeah, I wish we could do it more, but we're always.
We live in the country.
I'm telling you, I know. We used to shoot in our backyard. I built this bullet stop. It was 3 sheets of plywood, 6 inches of gravel, 3 sheets of plywood. This nice big thing. I was able to put a target. I couldn't get a 9mm through it. It was awesome. And then we got animals, chickens, goats, and stuff, and it was too hard on their ears. So I was
Don't shoot by them.
Well, we live in a half acre where we're at now.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't. Yeah.
Because our we had cattle and we got chickens and the gunfire never bothered them.
You know what's crazy is
Shoot right next to them, but
silencers in other countries. You're not allowed to shoot without a silencer in some countries because of hearing protection.
they're trying to pass the Hearing Protection Act, which someday, maybe under this administration, we'll see.
Man, that'd be nice. Because right now, to try to get a silencer, you got to buy a stamp. That's an expensive stamp.
$100.
And then you get to wait like 6 months.
Well,
Or more.
some are short, some are long. I've got one that's more than a year out right now.
Really? That's crazy. You know, I don't know why. Probably because they think bad guys are going to use it to.
It's all bureaucracy.
Yeah. What are some of the laws new gun owners or even experienced gun owners that just may not paid attention to or read that whole book? What are some of the laws that you think they really need to know, or things that they could really get in trouble if they didn't know?
Well, that's where taking a license to carry class really teaches you the law, because when DPS gives us our must cover information for a license to carry class, it's about an hour and a half. Now, the class is mandated, it has to be at least 4 hours long. So there's a lot of ad lib stuff that each instructor's going to put in there. But people need to understand what you can and can't do in your home, what you can do in your vehicle, what constitutional carry covers, which allows you to have a gun in your car, drive it up and down the road. But you cannot go in a school parking lot. Can't go within 1,000 feet of a school under constitutional carry. If you go to the post office and put your mail in the blue box, is a federal offense to have a gun in your vehicle on postal property. unless you have your license to carry. Constitutional carry doesn't protect you.
Wow.
If you get pulled over for speeding in a school zone and there's a school bus there, that's school premises, that's a federal offense, unless you have a license to carry.
Wow.
So there's little things like that.
Yeah.
License to
See,
carry
you hear this
teaches you little-
you hear the constitutional carry, and it's like, yeehaw! I got my gun. I'm going anywhere.
Down the road with my AK hanging out.
And the constitutional carry protects you in a traffic stop. You know, cop says you got any guns in the vehicle? Yep, I'm carrying a constitutional carry. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And but if you get in a shooting situation, you're going to want to have your license to carry.
I know my wife wants to take the class. I think I might take it with her because those two things alone just kind of surprised me.
February 15th from 10 to 2 is my next class.
February 15th.
Damn, it's
a Saturday.
Opportunist.
It's a Saturday, February 15th. Are we doing anything?
No.
I was looking at Stephanie. She runs our schedule.
I have mine. I took it with Dennis.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we
Wasn't
should do
invited.
that. Have you taken it yet?
This class.
So you haven't taken yours yet?
No.
We should go.
What about Mel? Hey.
No, it's a man's class. It's a man's class.
All right. Yeah, we should go. We should do that. You can come too.
So the range we have built to be more a defensive range. So like shotgun, we don't have clay pigeons. We shoot at a static steel plate. Thinking of shooting at something or someone, you know. We're rebuilding our steel plate area, which is we'll have multiple steel plates at different distances. And steel plates are cool because when you hit them, they make a loud noise, so you know you hit it. You don't have to go up and see. And we're rebuilding that. Actually, just did the dirt work today on that. We have our live fire shoot house, and we're working on a transition base. You can work on from long gun to short gun, stuff that you see our military people do and our law enforcement people do, but you can't do it in an indoor range. And most ranges don't want to have that liability of you moving and shooting or drawing your gun because they're afraid you're going to shoot yourself, which is understandable. But with training, that's what you need to be able to do. If you're going to think you're going to protect yourself, you got to practice somehow.
When do you have those specific classes?
All my classes are private and by appointment.
Oh, okay. So it can be any time.
Be
you
anytime.
just set it up.
Yeah, we just compare calendars and find a date.
Okay. Yeah, because we're gonna have some fun with that. Hey everybody, this is Tony and Todd. We were at Nomad Tactical with Dennis, and as you've seen on our TNT show, he's got a lot of expertise when it comes to firearms. And we are here today to kind of shake it up a little bit. We're gonna have a competition. We're gonna do guys versus girls.
Yeah.
We're gonna. Oh, I forgot to let you guys know.
Yeah.
Can't wait to put those videos together because a lot of them, it's Flamia's versus Henson's, who does better,
Oh, I got some good challenges for you guys. We could do that.
What's like what?
Oh, I can't tell you now because you
come
practice
on.
for it. No.
That's like my wife saying,
We get guys against girls then, so.
There we go. That feels better.
There we go.
Yeah. No, but we were supposed to answer questions about our wives, and I asked her, "Can you tell me the questions ahead of time?" She says, "No." I said, "It's not like I can look it up."
Right.
Well, you can think about it. I said, well, if I don't know it now, I'm not going to know it then. So what challenges are there?
Mike, I'll email you.
All right, there we
There'll
go.
be some watermelon involved, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, that's going to be fun. So the concealed carry, is there a website we can find out when those classes are?
On our website, nomadstactical.com.
And how often do you do those?
About once a month at this point.
Okay. And is it anybody in Texas? Do you have to be a Texas resident?
You do not. Anybody can get one. Anybody can get one.
So, because we have a lot of people that come from all over the country to Athens, Texas. A lot of people
Well, the
coming
Texas
to
one
see
is
Todd.
recognized everywhere. And people will move here from California or wherever,
California.
Okay, so somebody from Arkansas has their Arkansas license, and they moved to Texas permanently when they still got their Arkansas license. Well, that license protects you in a traffic stop, but not in a shooting situation. If you live in Texas, you need to have a Texas license to carry. You live in Arkansas, you get an Arkansas license to carry. The Texas one is honored in all the states that are gun friendly.
Because they don't want to mess with you.
Right.
He's from Texas.
But if you're going to pick a state you're going to live in, you get one from that state. That's your best protection. I still have a lifetime one from Indiana, but I don't live there anymore. So it doesn't do me any good. But the Texas one is honored for people that are here visiting. Yeah.
The best. That's all you need.
And if you live in Texas and you have Texas license plates, you're a target when you go to some other state. More than 70% of guns that are stolen on vehicles. If you have a Texas license plate, they assume you have a gun in the car. And so you're a target to get your gun stolen. So you need to have a place to lock it up.
I assume right.
Or have it on you.
We don't want to give away everything because you have a business to run. In your car, if you leave your gun in there, are you asking for trouble? Should you always take it with you? Are you recommending locking it up? Because
if you're going to leave it in your car, it needs to be locked up or have it on you. Best is to have it on you, unless you're at some place like you're at the post office. You can't carry it in, so you got to leave it in your car. If you're going to leave it in your car, you should have a lock box, something to lock it in a box and cable tie to your front seat track or something like that. The MO now for bad guys is they bust a window and they reach their body and they grab whatever they can off the seats. So if you have it under the seat, they can't grab it. They know if they open the door, the alarm's going to go off. So it's whatever they can lean in up to their belly button and grab off the seats. So it needs to be locked up someplace. They make things that lock in your glove compartment, that screw in your center console that has a lock box or something like that. Best is to have it on you, though.
Okay. Well, there you have
I
it.
would say is it. Because most glove boxes are pretty huge now.
Yeah, they make all kinds of things that just screw into the glove box.
Because I always wondered about it. Because I leave mine in the side of my door. It's in my case, but I leave it in the side of the door.
A nice little
The other thing is also having stickers on your back window that says, I love SIG or Glock or whatever. That's just advertising, hey, I got a gun in here. When you're parked at a movie theater, which doesn't allow guns, people are like, well, you're in there for 2.5 hours to watch that movie. I got 2 hours to work on your truck to find that gun.
Yeah. So put a sticker that says coexist.
There you go.
You won't have a gun whatsoever.
That's funny. Yeah. No, we used to say that about the speaker guys. I used to install sound systems when I was much younger. And they were like all the stickers that came with all the equipment. They're like, let's put it on there. I was like, don't put that on there. It'll be gone in a week.
Of course, you pull in the parking lot with it thumping, and they know, hey, we're going to hit that car.
Yeah.
Just write Jensen on it, and no one will steal it.
Right. Jensen. Wow. Do you want to talk politics?
You're in a safe area.
It's your channel. It's your channel.
Safe area.
Let me join you.
My wife is the politic nut.
Well, I mean, honestly, when it comes to guns and gun rights and just the whole state of the economy and where we're heading, it seemed like for the past 4 years we've been in this dark cloud, and then all of a sudden it's just opened up, and everybody's just happy again. And
Not everybody.
Well, Don.
Not
Don
everybody. The people
Don
we care
is doing
about.
good now, and he's really making some good changes. But in his first 4 years, he was the one that was for the ban on bump stocks. He was in a favor of, let's ban it first, then we'll worry about ramifications later. Now he's changed exponentially in the last 5-6 years. He seems to be a lot more on board now. Texas is obviously very gun friendly, but we're coming into tough times. The good stuff that Don is doing, he can't turn a ship on a dime.
Mm-hmm.
Egg prices are still going to keep going up for a while.
It's because they're killing all the chickens.
Right. The bad stuff's not done happening for a while. So we're in turbulent times. So you should have something to protect yourself and your family. But that comes with training. You need to learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Find somebody that can teach you.
Well, you think your eggs are expensive? We grow ours. So
You grow the egg?
well, inside the chicken, but yeah, but I think we spent about $150 a month on feed,
You
and
didn't hear.
yeah, so that's a lot of eggs.
And you only got 30 chickens?
Yeah. Well,
Switch food, honey. Switch food.
well, we get there's 3 different bags of stuff that we get for them. So
So he's got 45 chickens.
we have foo-foo animals. These are pets. The chickens happen to lay eggs, but all the other animals are pets. They all have names. All right, so as a full-time RVer, there's been many instances where my wife and I would spend the night in a rest stop or a Walmart parking lot or even a Cracker Barrel parking lot. And there's been times where, you're not really sure how safe you are, so you lock the doors to your 1.5-inch thick walls, and you kind of wonder how safe you really are. So what are some of the situational awareness things we should be considering as full-time RVers?
Having cameras outside, something with now a cameras are great for reliving memories. Okay, but your security cameras, as long as they got motion detection on them, that's going to alert you where your phone's going to beep or something to wake you up enough to say, "Hey, somebody's outside my door," so that you are ready. At that point, turn on the lights, leave lights on outside, have bright lights on the outside of your camper to illuminate everything around you. But to be able to protect yourself, that comes back to having something to protect yourself. The sound of racking a shotgun is a pretty good deterrent. But there's two schools of thought on that. If you're racking your shotgun to scare somebody away, people say, well, that's the international sound of get out of my house and rack a shotgun. That's also the international sign of my gun wasn't loaded. I wasn't ready. You don't want to give away anything. If you're trying to scare somebody away, okay, because you can't just shoot up in the air. You shoot up in the air, that's assault with a deadly weapon. So you can't fire a shot unless you're intending to stop somebody. You don't want to shoot through a door. You can't shoot through a door. The castle law says you are allowed to protect yourself in your castle, which is your home or your vehicle or your place of business. But you can't shoot through a locked door. We have a locked door to protect us. They've got to be inside.
Just unlock the door. already have it racked. Unlock the door. Bright lights. Just
like in your home, they've got to be through that door. They have to be across the threshold to where you can say, I saw this person, they scared me, therefore I protected myself. You cannot shoot through a locked door.
Yeah.
Got you there. There's no locks on my door.
When you're out in public, you're part of your EDC, your everyday carry, you guys don't wear watches? You got to wear a watch, okay.
Yeah.
If you forget your watch, do you go back home and get it? I mean,
maybe
have things that you carry on every day.
Forgot his watch.
Okay,
no, it's always on.
So it's like having a pocket knife. Okay, your cell phone. If you forget your cell phone, you're going to go back home and get your cell phone. It's part of your everyday carry. Okay, so when you get to the point of where you're carrying a gun all the time, it becomes second nature. I'm going to carry that. If I'm going out, I'm going to carry an extra magazine of bullets with me. People say, well, how many bullets should I carry? Well,
all of them. No.
The rule of thumb is the only time you get too many bullets is if you're on fire or drowning. Or it's just too heavy in your pocket.
Or both.
Okay. But, having a pocket knife. I always carry a pocket knife. I'll turn around and go back to get my pocket knife. Or carrying a flashlight. Having a bright flashlight is something good
That's what that was. Thought you were happy to be here.
Having a bright flashlight is good because, especially this time of year when it gets dark early, you need to be able to see what's going on. Now, when I tell people to carry a flashlight, besides the obvious of using it as a flashlight, to get somebody's attention, you could do 3 quick flashes to get somebody's attention from afar. Now, alert training it's an acronym for mass shooting situation. Every law enforcement officer across the entire United States is all trained to the same standard. That way, if somebody from Arkansas is here in Texas and there's a mass shooting going on, they can all jump in because they all know this is what we do. Okay. Well, to get their attention, they flash their flashlight. Somebody say, "Hey, I'm a good guy." When police take people to put them in jail, okay, they empty their pockets and categorize and list everything that they've got. Bad guys never carry a flashlight. 99.9% bad guys do not carry a flashlight.
I'm a bad guy.
Cops know that. So if in a shooting situation a cop shows up and I'm flashing the cop across the room, he's probably not a bad guy. He's got a flashlight. And I'm getting his attention to say, "Hey, I'm a good guy, please don't shoot me. I'm trying to help you." So there's a lot of benefits to having a flashlight. It should be part of your everyday carry if you're going to be out at nighttime. If you're only going to be out during sunlit hours, then you don't need it.
Mine's on my backpack. and it's bright. I'll show you when we get down there. It's crazy bright. And I got a pocket knife too. I feel like I'm checking off all the boxes. Oh, I set it over there.
That's right. It's within reach.
Yeah. But that's cool.
It's a mentality. Once you start carrying, it is a mentality of I'm going to carry a gun. But you've got to be comfortable with it. And if you're not comfortable with yourself shooting and using the gun, you're not going to carry it. Well, I don't want to carry it today because I'm just going to the mall or I'm just going wherever. It has to be, you got to be comfortable with yourself carrying the gun. You can call upon it if you need it.
Now, where are some of the places that, like, we work at a school, so we're not allowed to have it there. I mean, I used to...
At your RV school?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're licensed.
Career school, yeah.
That shouldn't apply. That shouldn't apply. It should only be with kids.
Well, they act like kids sometimes.
Have you met our students?
Well, I think I read somewhere, there was somewhere in the TWC guidelines that you're not allowed to have guns on premises. But I don't know if, maybe they don't have the authority to say that.
Posted anywhere, though.
No.
Well, then it would also, I'm not familiar with that law. I'd have to look it up because I know when it comes to kids. But the castle law covers you at your business. As a manager or owner of a business, you can carry, because that's part of your castle protections, you can carry. And you can authorize employees to carry also, as long as they have their license to carry.
Be coming in with an AK tomorrow.
That's right.
What about like Walmart? Depends.
During COVID, Walmart's went through a phase of no guns. And the Texas one put up a sign for about a week, and then they took them down. They realized they were in Texas, and that was kind of stupid. Just pushed away all their customers. So the Walmart here does not have it. I don't shop at many of them out of state, so I don't know. It's probably
well, that just covers all the places I go to. So work and Walmart, and so I think I'm good. I can. I do need to get a new. The holster that I have is inside the belt, and I can't do that. I can't get comfortable. I can't sit down. I have to wear pants that are 2 sizes bigger. I've got this belt here that is adjustable, so you can.
Well, if it's inside the pants, it's comfortable when you're walking, but not when you're sitting.
No.
So you need to have an external holster somewhere. Like in my truck, I have a holster that sits right here at my knee. So I get in the truck, it comes out of my holster and goes right there. It's going to be hard to draw it if I had to with my seatbelt on, so I want to be able to get to it. And most attacks happen in a parking lot when you're getting in or out of your vehicle. So by having that holster right there, when I get out of my vehicle, I get out, grab my gun, and put it in my holster. I go to get back in my truck. I open my door, pull my gun out. It's in my hand as I get in and put it in the holster. So if somebody were to jump me at my vehicle, got it in my hand. But yes, it's not comfortable to sit down with one inside the waistband.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, they have them where.
And I teach that also, how to properly egress from a vehicle and not shoot yourself or shoot your dashboard or whatever, to clear your steering wheel and get out and use your vehicle as cover.
Just start spraying everything. No, that's a cool idea, because if that's when it's the most likely you're going to get jumped, it's already in your hand. I like that.
Well, because you got your car keys in your hand.
I have to order one of those.
You got your car keys in your hand, so they can take your car, they can take your money, and you're standing on the side of the road. So
that's why I leave the keys in the truck.
I'd rather them take some lead.
But that's where understanding what the law says, what you can and can't do, knowledge is power.
Yeah. So what's that book? This
is Texas Gun Law by Texas Law Shield. Okay.
So that's something that you recommend anybody that has a gun should buy.
Well, Texas Law Shield is an insurance for gun owners. If you're going to carry a gun, if you get God forbid, you get in a shooting situation, you're going to have the criminal aspect of were you legally justified in what you did. And if somebody's shot, then you're going to have the civil side. You're going to get sued probably by the grieving family of the person that you shot. So that could be a lot of money. If criminal side, you might get off pretty easily, but the civil side could be millions of dollars. So that's where Texas Law Shield or USCCA will help protect you legally.
That's why you become a member with them.
Right.
Okay.
Because Texas law says that if you are justified in a criminal case, I'm justified in what I did, okay, they can still take me to court for a civil suit. It's very hard to get damages, not impossible, but very hard, but they can tie me up for months in court, which I can't go to work. I got lawyer fees, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And that's where one of these companies will help defend you, nothing out of pocket, no reimbursement, to help move things along so that you can go back home.
It's kind of almost like a prepaid legal.
It is. It's attorney on retainer. Yeah. Yes, that's what it is, definitely. And if you're going to carry a gun, it's a good idea to have. There's several of them out there, but it's a good idea to have something.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, I see that one, like Brandon Herrera is always talking about it. I don't know if you know him on YouTube.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, he ran for, I think he ran for Senate. He's a big-time YouTuber. Gun tuber is what they call him. But he's always talking about them.
One of the videos that I brought along is of teaching ladies how to shoot from a purse. Go. The law says that if you put your hand on your gun, you're brandishing a weapon, okay, which is a punishable offense. But once the gun clears the holster, now it's assault with a deadly weapon. So a purse is a great thing for a lady because she can have her hand on her gun inside her purse and nobody can see it. So she's not brandishing, she's not assaulting anybody, but she feels a lot more comfortable as she's walking across Walmart parking lot at 8 o'clock at night and it's dark and there's guys out in the parking lot. She's got her hand on her gun. So she feels comfortable. And she could shoot right through the purse if she had to. So I have a purse class where I teach ladies how to draw from the purse and shoot, or shoot through their purse if they had to.
What about a MERS class?
Maybe. We have to do that after hours when nobody's
Fanny
there.
pack?
Yeah, we do fanny pack, yeah.
Most people with MERSs don't have guns.
Exactly. They won't see it coming.
But I have ladies that will drop off old purses that they don't use anymore to the shop that we can use to blow holes in.
This sounds like a fun job to have.
It can be. It can be. Most people don't want to train, though. That's what I run into. You've got a few here and there, but it's that mentality that people say, well, I got a gun and I'm all set.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's the part of owning and using, which are two different things. You've got to practice with it. I talk to people all the time that, I got this gun 2 years ago for Christmas. I ain't shot it yet. Really? It's not burning a hole in your pocket?
Right.
But it happens all the time. People, my husband bought me this gun 3 years ago, and I haven't shot it yet. That's most of my students. I have never shot this gun. I've owned it for 3 years.
Well, I think it's just timing, convenience. Maybe they don't think that they really need it, or it's such a simple mechanism.
It's priorities.
How hard is it to point and shoot? That's probably
How hard is it? Right.
Yeah. I'm sure with the guys, again, you buy a gun, all of a sudden,
I train more ladies than I do guys.
that's Jason Bourne.
I train more ladies than I do guys because the ladies will admit that they need some training.
I'll admit
Most of the guys will say that, I got this. I'm a guy. I got it. I'm
Yeah.
born with this knowledge. Well, okay, fine, come shoot. Did your dad teach you? My dad taught me how to shoot when I was young. But then when I went back home to see him when he was in his 80s, and I brought a new cool gun for him to shoot, and I was like, his stance is wrong, his grip's wrong, everything's wrong. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what did I really learn? But
What did I learn from it?
Well, I think, again, it's
but he taught me safety, and that's the main thing. What parents are supposed to do is teach safety to your kids so they don't hurt themselves or anybody else.
it's the not knowing what you don't know. And then with the, I'm a guy. I was fortunate. I did take some classes when I lived in Florida, and I used to cup instead of, hold back. I used to pull the trigger a lot, and, well, not like pull the trigger, but I used to pull instead of pulling straight back.
How'd that go again?
Yeah, like that. So it's really amazing when you learn things that you don't know and how much better you can get, and then creating the muscle memory to support it. It's pretty phenomenal. So I'm really excited. Looking
That's why I
forward
like to do private classes, because I can work with people one-on-one, and the trigger is the most important thing to being accurate. At 7 or 8 yards, your gun is capable of 100 bullets inside a quarter. If not, it's your fault because you jerked the trigger.
Right.
It's as simple as that. But once you understand the basics, and that's what I try to teach is the basics. And once you understand those, you're like, oh, well, I get it. It's easy. Once I did that, it's an aha moment for most students. Like I said, I teach mostly ladies, and ladies are very good with tedious things. And I have a lady student that never shot before in her life, and in 10 minutes, she's shooting bullseyes. She's blowing the center of the bullseye, and she never touched a gun in her life. But she wanted to learn. You got to want to learn.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier. We don't have a whole group of guys who are,
They're judging each other.
more worried about,
So that, again, private classes.
Yeah,
Private classes,
that's a great idea.
Simple.
Yeah. All right.
So anyone can go, sign up, take some classes. So if something that you're looking forward to or something like that coming in town here in Athens, look up Nomad Tactical, get signed up, get in there, have a little fun, ask for some watermelon.
And I think we're gonna also come up with 4 other videos that we're gonna do at Nomad Tactical, doing a bunch of different challenges that we have no idea what they are.
Yeah, I'm sure. We was going to say,
Dennis won't tell us.
Challenge. It's called Mowing the Yard Challenge. Right.
Yeah, spraying the fields.
Right.
But I'm excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you go to toddandtonyshow.com, get yourself a free membership so you can start commenting on all these posts, and that way we can chat with you.
Yeah.
And
It was wonderful to have you here.
we're gonna put on
Invite me, guys.
we're gonna put on the bottom here your website, Nomad Tactical.
Nomads
Nomads
Tactical.
Nomads Tactical.